Aloha, guys. All right, so we are here. This is going to be the first installment of Chris Critiques. I've actually had some friends hit me back and send me a couple photos that I can kind of look over and give them tips, maybe a little critique, negative or positive. Who knows? We'll see when we get a chance to look. But first, the first thing we're going to do is I pulled up one of my pictures from my past to critique. So that kind of sets the bar for how this is going to go. So I've already got it pulled up on my phone. You will see above, you get to see the image of what I'm looking at as well. So what you're seeing here is the very first date that I took Paulina on when we first met. We went ahead and went down and shot some pictures of her bug, me being the romantic, thinking that we could get some pictures and I could get to know her a little bit. So what you're seeing here is her sitting on top of her old bug down at Bolsa Chica Beach. And the first thing I noticed when I look at this picture, and this is about 8 years old now, the first thing I noticed is that on the outside of the car, on this left side of the picture over here, it is completely overexposed. Now, I love the composition, I love the sunset, I love her posturing, but that light needed to be way darker. That is just blowing out, and I absolutely hate that. Other thing I can say is that I think I underexposed her face, which is probably okay because you can use editing tools to kind of clean that up. But overall, I think if I could have changed two things, the first thing I would have done is I would have gone and I would have kind of lightened that hit side kicker on the side of the bug, and I would have probably hit her with just a little bit more light on her face to kind of brighten her up and kind of help bring out that pop on her face. And the last thing I'm going to say is behind her, right there, you can see behind her right there, there is a light post that is behind her, and I probably should have removed that with Photoshop and or postured her or positioned her in a place that covered it so you can't see it, because now it looks like there's something about to eat her head or whatever. It just looks bad. But overall, I would say for being almost a 10-year-old photo and me getting very new to all of this type of lighting, I did a pretty good job. And I also say that speed lights are much harder to use than what goes on now with lighting. Back in the day, these were much more hard to get the settings right. So yeah, overall, I would say this was a 7 out of 10 for me, and I'd like to live in the 9 out of 10 area. So I think I could do a much better job now if I tried. So, all right, let's go on to the next picture here. I think the next one we're gonna pull up is, all right, well, let's do this one. First, we're gonna go here. All right, so this was sent to me by one of our friends, Claudia. We're Instagram friends. We follow each other. She's new to photography, and she sent me a couple photos of her. Looks like it was last year's Halloween, and overall, it's a great photo. For a keepsake and you using your camera new, it's great. Now, if I could change a couple things, the first thing I see is that this girl right here on the far right, she's not looking into the camera. So I would probably do a better job of getting their attention, making sure that you know, or they know that you were about to shoot a photo, and take the second you can to really get them engaged with you. So when you take that photo, they're all looking at you. The two girls on the other side are looking great. They're both looking into the camera. The pose is fine. You know what I mean? For casual stuff, the pose really doesn't matter. The exposure, now I know if you're using auto settings, sometimes you really don't have a lot of choice with the exposure. This is outside, so generally it's going to be a little bit tougher to get a great exposure, but overall it's not terrible. You could definitely clean this up with some Photoshop. The composition, I would make sure that they're centered to something like that. You could do that with a crop. You could have cropped this to square and centered them. I think a lot of photographers, especially new photographers, don't really realize how important cropping is to your photos. You should always shoot with the idea that you can crop in mind, and that can also give you two variations of a same photo, especially in 2024 with how good resolution is and pixels are on these nice cameras. Overall, it's not a terrible photo. I think for someone that's not well versed in experience, this is a pretty decent photo. If I had one more thing in the background, you can see that your horizon line over here, it's crooked. You can see that it's a little off-centered. So always use the interior of your camera. You can kind of get a little green line. Try to get that horizon square. It'll help make the photo look that much better. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10, and only because there's like 2 or 3 things that are wrong that I would fix. But I think that after this video, she's gonna get out there, she's gonna shoot some amazing photos, and this won't even be an issue again. And the kids are cute. I love the Minions costume. All right, so we're gonna pull up another one. This is from, actually, let's go here. So I laugh because this dude is amazing. So Alex, we met Alex at Gracie Beaumont Gracie Beaumont. He is already an established graphic designer, and as you can see, he is a very awesome photographer. I kind of laughed when he sent these photos over, or this photo over, because obviously, look at this photo. It's really good. These are the kind of things that make me inspired because I see how well he shot this photo and edited it. Look at the bottom. Look at that. Look at that thing at the bottom with the finger. Come on. The lighting is great. It matches the background. He's very good at comping his photos. If you have a chance, You see at the top corner here, that's his Instagram. Go ahead and give him a follow. He has some awesome poster art that he's done. But dude, I really can't even critique anything bad. I think if I had to say anything, I probably would have had your wife, Morticia, just lower her chin a little bit. But other than that, maybe it's hard, man. You have a little baby in there who's looking directly into the camera, and that's amazing because that's one of the hardest things to possibly do. Posing with 2 young kids can be absolutely difficult, and I do think he did a great job, again, with the hand at the bottom, making that just a little bit extra of the focal point. The style is off the hook. The background is perfect. The lighting is just really nice. I don't want to gas him up too much, but dude, this dude's got it going on. I love his work. We became instant friends when we met, and I've been following ever since. So Alex, dude, thank you for giving me this photo. I mean, yeah, this is a 9 out of 10. I think this dude kills it every single time. If you get a chance, go follow his Instagram, give him some love. Dude, you rock, bro. Okay, so let's go back. This one here, I'm not going to shout out the Instagram to this one because he wanted to be a little more private. And as you can see, I did cover up the faces because he wasn't sure that his wife and his son wanted to be on blast on Instagram. But, overall, I think this was shot with a Canon, an M50 maybe, with auto settings, which overcast days are the optimal days to shoot outdoors. If you're not really good with your lighting, an auto setting in overcast will produce just the cleanest images. The skin will look really awesome. Again, I think first thing I would do is just crop this. Just like that, just to make them in center. I don't hate the pose, but I do think that her elbow overlapping her little boy's body is a little weird. I try to bring the shorter person forward in the composition. But other than that, dude, you did a great job. I think if you just crop your photos and stay in the auto setting, I think it's going to be great. Outfits look good. They're matching. Overall, I give this like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I think that you couldn't go wrong just kind of continuing to use these settings and just really worry about the composition. And yeah, dude, like this is pretty sweet. I've seen their faces. The faces look great. They both have really good expressions. And dude, killer job. For someone that's not a photographer, I mean, I've seen way worse from guys that actually make money doing this. So good job, Bob. This is great. Thanks for submitting that. All right, so we're gonna go to this last one here, and this one I really wanted to talk about for a second because this is something that I think a lot of people have problems with. So we're gonna pull this one up, and this is just it's an action sports photo. So looks like her son's playing basketball, and as you can see, there is a lot of blurriness going on. Now, blurriness can be something that you use as a creative, an artistic choice, or it's something that makes a photo just completely horrendous. Now, unfortunately, this photo, it doesn't have an artistic choice to it. I do think your shutter speed settings are just a little too slow, and that actually comes with using auto settings. Interior lighting like this can be weird because the overhead lighting may not be bright enough. Your camera might have to struggle snapping on and focusing properly. But I think the first thing that I would do is I would increase those shutter speeds. I wouldn't shoot anything under 500 shutter, any kind of sports. And what that's going to do is that's going to make the camera blink really fast. Instead of blinking slow, it's going to blink really fast, which is going to stop the motion in the image. If you're in auto settings, it's going to be really hard to do that. But I think that if you did this with more of a manual setting and maybe chimped your way into the lighting that you liked and shoot it around 500, you would have snapped it a little better. The composition, you could have cropped this a little better, right? You can crop to square, kind of something like that. And that would actually make the photo pop just a little bit more. And again, we're going to go back to that horizon line. You can see there that red part in the background here, it isn't even. So, my nerdy sense, I want that to be as square as possible. But other than that, I mean, I know you're just getting started out, you're practicing and learning, and that's what this is all about. So I give this a 5 out of 10. I don't want to be a total jerk about it, but I think that there's quite a few things that are needed to be improved on action sports. And I will add that action sports photographers are up at the top of the tier of the guys that earn great money as photographers, and part of it is because they are so good with their settings, and a lot of it is memorizing your settings, knowing that when you're going to show up, you're going to start from a place that you're comfortable with and is going to produce a great image, and then from there you can tweak your settings a little bit to kind of go ahead and make them just that much better. But overall, guys, dude, this is freaking cool. I'm going to do this again. I had a lot of fun kind of looking through these photos and kind of analyzing it. If you guys have any questions, especially the people that submitted photos, if you have any more questions, you can always DM me. If you're just a random person that caught this video, please like and follow us. We're going to do more cool content like this. And let's get some more photos coming in. Send me some more. We'll do another version of this in a couple weeks. And hopefully you guys like this video, and we will talk soon. All right, guys? Aloha.